Some Swedish vehicles of the Cold War era are pretty hard to assign to a specific class. People still argue whether the Strv 103 MBT should be considered an SPG or not, and the Strv 74 is sitting in a weird gray area between light and medium tanks. That said, the Stridsfordon 90 is clearly a standard Western IFV, and we mean it in the best way possible. Swedish engineers managed to create one of the best vehicles in its class, and it can be considered the gold standard of modern IFVs in more ways than one. The development of the Stridsfordon 90 began in 1984. The Swedish Armed Forces needed a new APC to replace the aging fleet of Panzerbandwagen tracked carrier vehicles and armored cars, but there was nothing to pick from, and the British Stormer and Scorpion didn't meet the Army's requirements. That's why the decision was made to create a new vehicle from scratch, specifically for use in local climate and terrain. The resulting list of requirements was pretty hefty. The military wanted a high degree of crew protection from autocannon fire, a lot of leeway for future upgrades, excellent mobility, and transportability. The main armament had to be powerful enough to reliably destroy modern heavy vehicles, and the platform itself had to be suitable for a variety of vehicle types, from an ARV to an SPAAG. The project to develop the new vehicle was undertaken by a company called Hägglunds, which is currently a part of BAE Systems. After trials, Hägglunds received the green light from the military to rework an APC into a full-fledged heavy IFV. Their armament of choice was the 40mm Bofors gun, with its APF SDS rounds, one of the most powerful weapons of its class at the time. Swedish engineers also tested a variant armed with a 25mm Bushmaster autocannon, used by the American Bradley IFV, but ultimately decided not to develop this version any further. Throughout the process, the military were adamant about keeping the bar they set for the weapon system sky high. As a result, engineers had to rework the FCS and other related components again and again. The requirements for other parts of the new vehicle were just as strict. The new IFV was designated Stridsfordon 90, or CV90, with CV standing for Combat Vehicle. The Swedish Armed Forces accepted it into service in 1993, with engineers clearing the very high bar set by the military with flying colors. During trials, the new IFV consistently performed really well, attracting the interest of potential overseas buyers: the Netherlands, the Czech Republic, Switzerland, and Finland. Currently, there are a few known variants of the CV90. For instance, the CV90-30, armed with the American Bushmaster II autocannon, is an export version produced for Finland and other clients abroad. The CV90-105 and the CV90-120 are the result of two attempts to create a new light tank by mounting a large caliber gun on the Swedish chassis. Cockerell, which was the manufacturer of the CV90-105, also suggested fitting it with a new XC8 turret. In terms of firepower, the resulting vehicle would be on par with MBTs, which are considerably more expensive and difficult to maintain, even though the vehicle obviously wouldn't have the same level of protection. Some CV90s were fitted with the RB-56 anti-tank missile. It uses the overfly top attack method. Instead of hitting the target head-on, the missile detonates its warhead a few dozen centimeters above the target, firing its explosively formed penetrator through thinly armored areas of the enemy vehicle. Then there's also the Luftfahrtskannonwagen 9040, an SPAAG fitted with a radar from Thales Group. The CV90 is one of the most advanced and effective IFVs in the world, and vehicles of this series are waiting for you in War Thunder at high ranks of the Swedish tech tree. Do you enjoy using them in combat? Share your experiences in the comments below.